Hi, everyone. Welcome, and I am so happy you're here today. I'm Danielle, and I am going to share a secret with you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you know something, but then you immediately second guess it? Almost like you get a feeling, and then all of a sudden you have this voice that comes in like, no, that can't be. That's not possible. That has to be wrong. Or do you ever feel like you pick up on people or sense things, but you can't fully understand it or trust it? Or maybe it's hard to take those feelings and then get them out into words. Or maybe you've wondered, am I intuitive or am I just overthinking? Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between intuition and anxiety. Here's the truth that most people just don't realize. Your intuition isn't broken. What's actually happening is that your nervous system is dysregulated, and it's creating static over something that's already there. So we have this perfect and reliable intuition that lives inside of us deep in our hearts. And then when we get dysregulated, right, we have stuck emotions in the body. It's like layered on top of it, piled higher and higher and higher. So what we need to do is bring that back down and regulate the nervous system. So it's just covering it. So today I'm going to show you why your intuition feels blocked, what's actually happening when you miss your intuitive messages, and I'm going to guide you through a real experience where you will access your intuition live. I wanted to create this webinar because this is one of the questions I am asked most frequently from new students that are coming into the academy or who are doing private one-on-one sessions to try to heal these limiting beliefs. And here's the other thing, like limiting beliefs, right? That's huge when we're getting into this work and trying to build our intuition. If we're holding a belief that it's not okay to receive or we're not safe to receive, how will we ever receive the information, right? If we're holding a belief that people are going to judge me if I come out as being intuitive, you're never going to get past that, right? So on top of the dysregulated nervous system, we also have beliefs. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we get into this. So today I'm going to show you why your intuition feels blocked, what is actually happening when you miss the intuitive messages, and I'm going to guide you through a real experience where you're going to access your intuition live. Okay, so here's the truth. The biggest secret that's going to help you shift is you do not need to develop your intuition. You remove what blocks it. Whew, how mind-blowing and how empowering is that? There are three main blocks. So one is nervous system dysregulation. If your body feels anxious, unsafe, or overstimulated, your intuition gets completely drowned out. It might peek through every now and then, but you don't notice it. Intuition is subtle and anxiety is loud. It can become difficult to differentiate when we're holding that activation in our body, that anxiety. Now, the second is conditioning, right? At some point, you were told you're too sensitive, so your body doesn't feel safe enough to be sensitive to receive the information, right? You developed that belief. Or maybe you're holding a belief that you're imagining things. Maybe somebody told you that that's not real, or don't say things like that, right? Or you have that belief that if you come out as being intuitive, you're going to be judged and people aren't going to like you. So you learned to shut it totally down. The third is, even if you are intuitive, you don't understand how it comes through. So you doubt it every time. You're not really sure which Clair is your strong one, so you're not sure how you're receiving information. And that can become confusing and overwhelming and make us just want to shut it down, right? I'm going to give you a quick personal share here. When I was younger, I remember asking someone, I think I was only like 5 or 6, but I remember like knowing what song was going to come on the radio before it came on. Or before caller ID, the phone would ring and I would have a feeling who it was and it would be right. And I remember asking someone, do you think I could possibly be psychic because I know these things? Oh my God, I was laughed at so hard. I was so embarrassed and I just crawled inside of my skin and wanted to disappear that I let it completely shut me down. So later in life, I had to rebuild that connection from scratch, right? And I feel like it's harder sometimes when you shut it down and have to reopen it to kind of get back in touch, right? Because now we're working against all of our conditioning, all of our limiting beliefs. But let me tell you a secret. This is why I do that work, because once I started getting into my healing, it just happened, right? I was like, wait a second, right? I started practicing mindfulness and meditation, and I started seeing things in my meditations, and I'm like, is this okay? But as my nervous system started to heal, the real me, the intuitive, limitless me is starting to show, right? And you can do this too. We all have this ability underneath our dysregulated nervous system and underneath our limiting beliefs. It's all there. It exists. Everything exists within us. Okay, so let's get into our little micro training here. So let me show you how intuition actually comes through. There are 3 main ways, even though there are 5 Clairs, right? So the ones we're going to talk about today are usually like the strong ones, and then the other ones are more supportive. I believe the 3 main Clairs are claircognizance, which is a knowing. So you just know something and you're not really sure why, and there's no explanation for it, but you know it with your whole soul. After that, we have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. So with clairvoyance, you might see symbols, images, or flashes out of the corner of your eye even. Even colors sometimes can come in when you're using your clairvoyance. And those little flashes that you're getting, if you practice this, is actually going to become real images. And then clairsentience, which is clear feeling. You feel energy, you feel emotions, and you feel sensations in your body. So even if it's not coming from you, even if you're with a friend and all of a sudden you feel sad and then you're like, well, that's weird, I wasn't sad. It's not you, it's the person you're around, and you're picking up that energy intuitively. So take a moment and ask yourself, which one do I naturally lean towards? Another way you could think of that is, how do you find yourself speaking? When you're speaking, are you saying I feel statements? Are you saying I see statements? Or are you saying I know statements? So try to notice that even as you go along your day, and that's going to give you a clue to what your strongest Clair is. I find for me, I use a little bit of all 3 of these, but when I was first developing, it was definitely clairsentience. I would cry for literally everything. I cried if somebody else was hurt. I cried if I was hurt. I cried connecting to spirit because the love was just so amazing and I couldn't believe I was actually feeling it, and it was so beautiful, right? So I actually asked spirit if they could take a little bit of that away and help me with my clairvoyance, help me better to see, because I didn't want to be known as the crying medium. And of course they did. And now I feel like I'm relying mostly on my clairvoyance, but I still get things from my clairsentience and my claircognizance as well. Now, just know, guys, there's no right or wrong answer here. However you receive information is perfect, and your angels and your spirit team, they know how you best receive information, and they're going to help you get there. So here is your live experience here. So we're going to do something together now. And I want you to just promise you're going to stay open-minded, okay? Just close down your eyes if you're comfortable. Start taking slow breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We're going to do 3 of these breaths together. So let's inhale together, letting the belly fully expand. Exhale like you're blowing through a straw, nice and slow. Staying connected to how this feels in the body. Good. Next big inhale when you're ready. Good. And let it go nice and slow. Good. One last big inhale. And as slow as you can this time on the exhale. Maybe noticing how your nervous system starts to feel settled on this last out breath. Noticing your energy start to settle. Maybe noticing the way your bottom feels sitting on the chair, supported by whatever surface you're on right now. Maybe you feel yourself sinking deeper into that surface. Letting your body soften. We're not forcing anything here, we're just allowing. Now let your focus drop down to your heart space. They say our heart is the seat of our soul. That little spark of light. So find that now. Find that little spark of light right in your heart space, your soul. And start breathing into that light. And with each breath, that light grows bigger and brighter until it is completely filling your aura. Just enjoy sitting in your power. This is the power of your soul. Notice what you feel. Notice the love. Now I want you to imagine there's a door in front of you. Don't think about it. Just notice what shows up. What color is it? What texture? Is it open or closed? Now hear this. You didn't make that up. You've received it. Now imagine opening that door. What do you see inside? Notice the images, feelings, random impressions. Just observing here. When you feel ready, coming back out of the door, and just walking away, coming back to now. Coming back into the body, starting to notice the room around you again. And when you're ready, blinking your eyes open. How was that for you guys? Let me know in the comments here, what did you see? How did you see your door? And are you confident in what you saw? I promise you, you did not make that up, which is super exciting. So the same way you saw that door is the same way you are going to feel your intuition. If you struggled with that with your eyes closed, I want you to just, with me right now, I want you to remember a time you held an apple in your hand. Now notice where your attention goes. If I'm looking at that apple that I was holding, where's your intention go? Like your memory. That is what intuition feels like, guys. So you're going to put your attention right back on that spot when you're trying to connect intuitively. So here's where most people get it wrong. Intuition is not loud. It doesn't come in perfect sentences. It comes in flashes and whispers and really quick, subtle impressions. Most people dismiss it because it just feels too simple and people are expecting something different. I really hope that helped you kind of start to be able to tune into your intuition. And believe me, guys, it is a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it will get. I would love to hear, like I said, please drop in the chat if you're comfortable. What did you see? What did you feel? Tell me all of the things. So what you just experienced is 100% real. Don't let that yappy mind get in there and tell you you made it all up. But here's where most people get stuck. They can't repeat it consistently, or doubt keeps creeping back in, or they don't fully trust what they're receiving. So fear or overthinking is going to shut it down again. And this is where people usually stop. So this is exactly why I created Empath to Mystic Academy, because I didn't have a safe space to develop these abilities. And inside the academy, we focus on nervous system regulation so that your body feels safe to receive, step-by-step intuitive development, even getting into each Clair with specific exercises and activities you can practice daily to build this muscle. Understanding your specific intuitive language, practicing readings in a safe space, having live practice circles and coaching calls. This is not just learning, it is embodiment, guys. Inside, you're going to build confidence in your intuitive gifts. You're going to stop second guessing yourself. You're going to learn how your intuition speaks to you specifically. And of course, practice in real time with others and with me. You are going to feel supported and validated the entire time because I am going to be behind you, cheering you on the entire time. You're not learning something new. You're remembering who you've always been underneath all the conditioning. And if something opened for you today, don't close it again. Your soul is calling. So come join us inside Empath to Mystic Academy. You have 7 days to come inside and explore and practice and come remember who you are before the conditioning, before you shut it down. I'll see you inside.